Hello everyone. Today let's solve the problem number 1 to 8, longest consecutive sequence. Lead code number 1 to 8, right? So what the problem says, given an unsorted array of integers nums, this is unsorted. So return the length of the longest consecutive elements sequence. Longest consecutive element sequence means suppose in this one 104, 201. So we have got the longest consecutive sequence, that is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the length of it, we have to display the length of the longest consecutive element sequence. So it is 4, nothing but the length is 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 4. So you must write an algorithm that runs in big of n time, basically. So they have strictly mentioned that we have to write an algorithm that runs in big of 1 time. So what we can do, let's consider this example. So here the numbers are 100, 4, 200, 1, 3 and 2. What we can do here is, we can sort this one, right? When we sort this one, we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, finally, 100 and, 100 and 200, right? So we can group this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 100 is one thing and 200. This is consecutive, and finally we can display this one, the length of the this consecutive number, basically. The most, the longest consecutive element sequence, we can display the length of this one, basically. We can do this. If we are sorting, basically the time complexity would be big of n log n. But they have strictly mentioned that we have to write the algorithm that runs in big of n time, right? So for that one, what we can do? So I'll just delete this one. Yeah, we can make use of hash set, right? In this case, what we can do here is, we have the numbers 100, 4, 200, 1, 3 and 2. So what we can do here is, initially we can check whether this is the first consecutive element in the array. If it is not, we can ignore. If it is the first element in the array, we will assign this number to the temporary variable and we can increment this one. When we increment, if we find the next consecutive element, then we can take one more variable, like we can name anything. In my case, I'll just take current, and we can increase the consecutive, this one, right? Increase the length, increase the frequency of it. So when I say this one, what we can do here is, so we are checking whether the previous number of 100 is present or not. If the previous number of 100 is present, then we are ignoring that number, right? So here 99 is not present in the array. Here 99 is not present. So what we'll do, we'll assign this one to the temporary variable and increment this one. 100 is 101. So 101 is not present in the array, right? So this will be, we'll assign the frequency of this will be only 1. So we'll do the same thing for 4. So we'll check whether the previous number of 4 is present in the array or not. The previous number of the 4 is 3. 3 is present here. You can see 3 is present. So we are ignoring this one. Next we'll do with the 300. We'll check whether the 199, the previous number 199 is present in the array or not. 199 is not present, so this is the first consecutive number in the array. So what we'll do, this one, we'll assign this one to the temporary array, temporary variable, and increment this one. Next 201. It becomes 201, right? 201 is not present in the array. So this will be, the frequency is nothing but 200 is only present once. The sequence is only once, right? Next, we'll check for 1, this one. 1, the previous number, we'll check whether a 0 is present or not. 0 is not present in the array. So we'll check for the consecutive number. Next, we'll assign this one to the temporary variable and we'll check whether 2 is present or not. When we increment 1, then it becomes 2, right? 2 is present in the array. So here, what we are getting is 1, 2 is present in the array. So when 2 is present in the array, so now the temporary variable is 2, then we increment again, So when we increment again, we'll check for this becomes 3 and we'll check whether 3 is present in the array or not. And 3 is present in the array. So it's become 1, 2, 3. Right? So next, this will be the temporary variable, and next when we increment the 3, it becomes 4, and we check whether 4 is present in the array or not. So you can see here 4 is present in the array. So this becomes 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So the frequency is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we will we'll assign 4 to the temporary variable and we'll increment it. So this becomes 5, and 5 is not present in the array, right? So you can see here the 5 is not present in the array. In this array, 5 is not present, right? So the maximum length of this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, right? So the frequency here for the this one is 4, right? Next we'll check for the 3. So for 3, the previous we'll check whether the previous number is present or not. 2 is present, right? In this array, you can see here 2 is present. So we will ignore this one. So we'll ignore this one, right? So next we'll do for the same thing. We'll check for 2. The previous number of 2, we'll check for 2. Basically, 1 is present in the array. So you can see here this one is already present in the array. So we will be ignoring this one. So finally what we'll do, we will display the maximum length here. So the maximum length here is 4. This one you can see. Nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, the consecutive number we have got here. Nothing but they have said the same thing here. The longest consecutive element sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, its length is 4. We have got the 4 maximum length here, and the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you can see. This is it. I'll just delete this one. Yeah. Let's start writing the code. Just give me a second. So first what I'll do, let's create the set from the nums array, right? For that one, I'll just give let set is equal to new set. So next step, I'll just take the variable max and set this one to initially 0. So why we are considering the variable? We have to get the maximum consecutive numbers, right? Initially that one will set to 0. Next, let's iterate over the each number in the array. We are iterating over the each number in the array. For that one, I'll just make use of the for loop. Come here for now nums. We are iterating over the individual number in the array, right? Next, what we'll do, we'll check if the number is in the number is the start of the sequence. That's what I had explained earlier, right? Whether this is the start of the sequence or the previous number is present. So that how we can do, I'll just make use of the if condition, give set dot has of num minus 1. So if the previous number is not present, then this is the particular number will be the first consecutive number in the array, and then we can initialize the number to the temp variable and set the current to 0. What I'll do here, let temp equals I'll just give number and current equals 0. Current is nothing but the frequency of the longest consecutive number. So here I'll just set this one to 0. Next, what we'll do, we'll increment the temp as well as count the length of the current sequence. So basically we saw for the 100 it was 1, 4 we ignored this one, 200 it was 1, and finally for the 3 and 2 also we ignored, and for 1 it is 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing but 4 was the maximum length, right? That's what we are doing here. So we'll increment the temp and count the length of the current sequence. So for this one, I'll just make use of the while loop and I'll just give set dot has plus. So if the number is the first consecutive number in the array, then we will increment that number and set the count accordingly, right? So if the next consecutive number is present, so we are incrementing the current sequence length. Finally, we will get the maximum consecutive number, length of the maximum consecutive number by making use of we can make use of the math.max and current, and let me give max. So the current in this case, in this example, we got 4 if you remember. 1, so this was 1, this we ignored, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, ignore. So 1, 1, 4, among that one, the maximum was 4, right? Finally, we'll return the max. So the answer we'll get for this one is 4, basically. Same goes with the example 2 as well. I'll just give here, in my case, return max. So let me factor this one. Yeah. So I'm getting the wrong answer, right? So what I have done? So it's this. So yeah, here I have to mention nums within the set, right? So yeah, this I had forgotten, I think. Yeah, let me hit the submit again. Yes, now this is correct, right? So what will be the time complexity and the space complexity? The time complexity would be big of n. Why? We are iterating over the array only once, right here. So that's the reason the time complexity would be big of n. What's the space complexity? The space complexity would be big of n as well, because the set stores the each element from the array itself, right? So that will lead to big of n space complexity. So I'll just mention here, I'll come here and I'll give big of n, and the space complexity would be big of n as well. So this is it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.